Alright guys, Mr. G here with a guide on Domekeeper. Are you getting blown up? Are you getting wrecked? Do you need all the help you can get to murder an alien species and steal the resources? Well, don't worry, I got a new player guide just for you. So here's your dome. It's got a couple components. You've got your combat and upgrade center right over here. You've got your special and primary upgrade over there. You've got your weapon systems. And we'll talk a little bit more about these later, but you've got primary gadgets you can use. Now, in the new player full version, you start with the shield. And you also start with the laser. We'll get into more other stuff and other weapons a little bit later, but the upgrades you need to unlock right out the door is the proximity sensor, the inventory, and the health bar for your dome. Because without those, you have no idea what's going on. Now, you got three kinds of resources. You got iron, you've got water, and you've got your most important and your most rare, you've got cobalt. And then down below that, you've got your timer for how long it's going to take monsters to show up. Now, iron is the most plentiful. It usually shows up in 3, 4, sometimes tiles of 5. You're going to use that for your main upgrades. Water is used to upgrade your gadgets and use on consumable gadgets. And lastly, cobalt is used to repair your dome. It is the all-inclusive most important one. Now, mining's pretty straightforward, but you can see one tile above and below when you're mining. And when you reach a wall like that, you're done. Now, when you mine, it makes sense to just skip every 2 tiles because you can see one adjacent from the top and one adjacent from the bottom. So you're wasting time if you do anything else. And this game is all about saving every microsecond of time you can. There's also about 4 variations of rock hardness. I'm going to show you a couple right now. When it's tight together like that, it's extremely hard. And when it's far apart like that, it's pretty loose and you can punch through it. And then there's indestructible tiles there, which look like this. And there's the hard one, and there's the indestructible one. Okay, combat. Combat is all about being efficient. You can't attack both sides at once until you get the double laser, but ignore that. So it's all about mitigating as much damage as you can as quickly as possible. So target priority is key. You're going to take damage, that's just a fact of it, but you're going to do your best to minimize that in each run. And you can upgrade your dome with a various amount of upgrades to make it easier. Now, gadgets are going to look like this. You're going to find goofy looking tech tiles, and you're going to unlock those, and you're going to get to take that up to your dome, and you're going to get a choice of 2 gadgets or rare cobalt. So we're going to go over all of those gadgets really quickly right now. So you've got teleporters, water condensers. Yeah, condenser's pretty solid. It just makes water. You can't mess up with that one. You always need more water to upgrade all of your gadgets. You've got a probe, which you can use to basically just pulse out and detect if there's any sort of minerals or items that you can grab, saving you time in mining. The teleporter gives you a node up in your base, and then you drop another node to your teleporter anywhere in the mine. And don't worry, you can hold down the select button and move it. If you just tap the select button, you'll go ahead and return to your base. Now, there's also the cutest gadget, which is your Drillbert. Yeah, it's a little creature that likes to drill. He's going to go ahead and drill while you're busy up there murdering aliens. Next up, you want to blow some stuff up? Well, you got a couple of options for doing that. You've got a blast, which does cost water to use, so that's a bit of a bummer. I don't love that one. And the stun laser. If you're really suffering with late wave combat, the stun laser really does a lot to help you fight, and it can be upgraded quite a bit. And it automatically targets, and it's going to buy you a lot of time, and your dome's going to last that much longer. It's actually how I beat my last run, was by opting to bring that piece of technology with me. Because after each failed run, you'll get to choose one of your 3 gadgets to bring with you. Now, there's also weird stuff down there, like a one-way teleportal thing. This heart that acts like crazy drugs and makes you go full turbo mode. And yes, it does respawn from time to time, so you can go back and grab that turbo juice, Red Bull, whatever you want to call it, about every few minutes. And let's get this cobalt back up here because our base needs fixed. There's also a couple of Easter eggs out there, and I don't want to spoil this one, but yeah, it is literally an egg. No, I'm not going to tell you what this one does. You'll find that out on your own. And lastly, we're going to talk about how you beat the first game mode, which is getting the relic. You might come across some lines energy lines when you're mining tech nodes. It's best to follow those lines. Now, if you find a big, giant set of tech nodes, you have just found the relic, which is how you beat the initial game mode. However, if you're finding that once you mine all those, nothing happens, and you're probably pulling your hair out because the void monsters of doom are about to wreck your dome, don't worry. See those 2 power lines coming off the node? You're going to need to follow those, and it's going to take you to a couple of other nodes, or a one-way teleport, which we just accidentally messed up. But no, you're going to find a couple of these power nodes. You power those both on by using the select key. I do highly recommend a gamepad. If you don't have a gamepad, it's so much better on gamepad. I did mouse and keyboard, but also gamepad. Bring this to the top. Now, I'm not going to show you the end sequence because you need to discover that on your own. And like any good roguelike, by beating it doesn't mean you're done. Beating a run just unlocks more challenging runs as well as different primary gadgets. So right now in the full release of the game, you can unlock Repellent, or you can unlock another ability for the default gadget, which is your shield. So instead of trigger activating an attack, you can do a reflection. The Repellent's pretty handy. It buys you extra time. So if you hit the Repellent button, it's going to extend the time meter that ticks down, the ever-present time meter. And the Orchard, if you haven't tried out the Orchard, I used that one in the demo to quite a bit. It basically makes fruit which act just like the Red Bull that I showed you earlier in the video, which allows you to save time. So with Repellent, you can gain time. With the Orchard, you can save time. And with the shield, you can protect your base. Guys, this was meant to be a video for new players. I will do a more advanced, deeper look at tips and tricks later. But if you're like, hey, I love this game, or you like other games by Raw Fury, hit like and subscribe because I also cover all of their Kingdoms 2 Crown games on my channel, and I'll be spending a lot more time with this one. So if you dig this kind of stuff, you know, smash that like button and hit that subscribe button, or don't. I'm not your mom. I can't tell you what to do. Mr. G out.